Okay, welcome to the VA PALS OSEHRA Working Group meeting. This is August 22nd, 2018, and your regular warning that we are recording this session, and then we will be putting it up on YouTube for you to see afterwards. And the team is going to help me. I forgot who is going to be showing stuff first. Okay, that would be great. So Larry is going to be showing us some cool stuff. I'm giving it to you. There we go.
So my screen is visible?
Yes.
We have had fantastic news here, and I'm going to do a very quick demonstration.
I don't know about anybody else, but I can't hear Larry.
Okay, thank you.
Now can you hear me?
Better, much better. Thank you.
Oh, I guess if I turn mute off, it makes a big difference. Okay, so sorry about that. So this is going to be a very quick demonstration, but it's incredibly wonderful news. Sam Habil wrote a new broker for us, and so it has solved a number of problems. The biggest issue I'll demonstrate here. We have a so this is the old M2M broker. And basically, I'm going across and finding the SSN for a patient whose DFN is 44. So basically, it's the 44th patient in the user file. And it should take about 27 seconds. And the M2M broker written for the VA actually translates everything into XML, sends it over. It's back translated, sends the answer in XML, and it's translated back. So you see how long that took? So this is exactly the same thing. Using the new broker. So the new broker mimics in many ways the same broker that CPRS is using, and it has solved a number of important problems. One is it's much faster, as you can tell. It just takes a second or so to pull information back. And then what isn't visible here, but is as equally important, is the M2M broker didn't handle complex arrays. And so when we were sending text into a TIU note over on the server, on the VA server, that goes over as a set of arrays that have multiple subscripts. And the old M2M broker didn't handle those. And so I actually had to make a change in a routine on the server side. Well, that's something that we can't do. So that's no longer necessary. So now we can send notes over. Things go over very quickly. And the third thing that we haven't tested yet, but sounds like it will work, is the other problem with M2M is we would have had an issue with hashing or security of the codes, and with this one we should not. So that hasn't actually been tested because we don't have a VA instance to test it on. But anyway, this should once and for all make this broker clears up quickly sending or retrieving information back and forth to a VA instance without long delays. So that is really it for mine. So I will stop sharing. Okay.
Did y'all see his screen? Because all I saw was gray.
Oh, really? Should I? I can try?
If somebody else saw it, that's fine.
I saw it, but I'm in the same room.
I saw it.
I saw it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, the only
the
then is I probably should have verbalized at the same time. So looking up a patient's SSN under the old M2M broker took about 27 seconds. and looking it up under the new broker that Sam wrote takes about 1.8 seconds, and that delay is not changed by the amount of information you send. So sending over an entire TIU note will take no more time than picking up the SSN. So we should have a response time of under 2 seconds, and it's possible we can even make it faster than that. But anyway, that means that if the provider enters, a name, we should be able to pick up the SSN and all the other information almost as fast as they can go over and pick up a new form. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Larry. Any questions about that? Okay. So George is going to show us that, I guess he's going to show that we're responsive to requests.
I plan to show how we are now integrating this this new communications capability with Vista into the VA PALS application. So so we had a bunch as on Avicenna. We have a bunch of test patients that have been enrolled in the past before we had this capability, and what I did is from the command line, I wrote some code, one-liners, that called the new PT info on each of these previously enrolled patients and pulled back their data. And as a result, when you and then modified the displays so that it detects if an SSN is available, we actually display it in the SSN column here. If you'll recall, if there was no SSN, we displayed the last 5. So it displays here. If you go to one of the forms, like the intake form, again, this used to be the last 5 here. But since the SSN is available, the entire SSN is shown, and that ought to be true on all of the forms. And and now that we're pulling the SSN and are able to use it on the screens. One question I had is, do we also want the date of birth? Because it's available and we could put it right up here. So that's kind of an open question. I mean, I'm used to seeing patients identified by name and date of birth, as well as SSN. So that's
hey,
kind
George,
of. Yeah.
I traded email with Pee Wee this morning. She says that he has that information on the CPRS side, doesn't need it here.
Oh, okay. Then that's it. So that's less work for me. That's fine. All right. So that's how we're beginning to use the information. We're also going to be pulling in when you create an intake form. We're also going to be pulling in the address from Vista and putting it here. I can't demonstrate that yet because we don't have it working. So where we are is we're trying to use Sam's new Vista Communication, new MTAM broker, new RPC. What is it? RPC broker mumps client. That's what it is. Sam's new RPC broker mumps client. We're trying to use it now inside our web services and actually call it as part of enrollment. So, you know, if you get a patient that's not yet enrolled, you press submit. We get the question, do you ensure you want to enroll it? You press yes. And right now it ought to be calling Vista and pulling the SSN. And it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't, you'll notice, because we still see the last 5 here. The reason it doesn't is because we are still trying to get it to work properly. When we turn on. So I wrote we're having trouble running the client under, inside of a web service. So test PT info. So I wrote a web service that actually does that and tries to call the patient info. So we're in the process of debugging this to try to see why it is that it's not that that we can do it from the command line, but when we do it from inside a web service, it doesn't work. So that's the status of where we are in integrating the new mumps broker client into the VA PALS application.
George, this is Sam. Almost always the problem has to do with switching devices. So make sure you switch devices properly between when using the other broker, because it probably closes the connection, and then you're left with your principal device, which may or may not be the correct device to use.
Can you talk with Larry and help him fix that?
Yeah, sure. The trap you sent me was doing the XML M2M broker, the one for Vista.
Yeah, that trap was not from this. So I don't have it. I don't have a trap for this one.
Okay, so you work with Larry, and I'm sure if he has any questions, he can reach out to me.
That'd be great. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, I think it's I'm sure that something simple like that we just don't know about yet.
Hey guys, this is Larry, and that may well be, but I actually think it may just be a timing problem. I ran your routine a moment ago, George, and it worked fine, but it's because I was stepping through it in debug. So there was more than the 1.8 seconds between doing the call and going to the next step. So it's possible that if there's just a 1 or 2 second hang, that's what's happening is it's coming back before the answer is. Anyway, I'll talk to Sam about it. You and I can look at it.
Please. Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, great. So I wanted on this call to show people the progress. So Larry showed us this great thing that Sam wrote, the RPC mumps client, RPC broker mumps client, and Sam, you got to give it an official name. You got an official name for it?
Not really. It's just a simple. It's just like we have the RPC broker client in Java. We have it in C#. We have it in Python. We have it in Erlang. Okay. So now it's available in mumps.
Right. So this is the RPC broker client in mumps. Perfect. I love that, because it is, it's of a set of ways to access Vista.
Is it communicating with XML like the MTM one was?
I had. Say again, David.
It is not using XML, no. And in fact, this is Larry, and because of that, it's a spectacular advantage, because it's hard to show, but the XML wouldn't take complex subscripts, and so we now can send over a TIU note without having to make any changes at all on the server side. I had to manipulate the server side to accept XML with multiple subscripts in an array. So it's a real boon. It's not only much faster, but it's a real breakthrough for us communicating back and forth with a VA server.
Any other questions? Anything else we want to show? Okay. Well, I think we're done then.
Linda, before we close, do we have anybody from VA on?
It does not look like it.
So it's not clear whether our go-to-meeting switch helped them or not. All right, we'll figure it out.
Yep, it's mainly us and OSEHRA and Ardit and Dave Witten.
So, Ardit, I wanted to tell you I got your email and I'm working through those changes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Great.
Yeah, I don't. If I run into trouble, I'll send you a reply.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, so we may have to send invites to the VA people directly instead of expecting that they will be subscribed to our blog group.
Well, if they joined the other meeting, they would have been redirected.
Yes, because it's over there. It's on.
Okay. We're good.
Anything else? Well,
Thank you for including me on this call. It's been
Oh, we really appreciate having you on here, Dave.
Yeah, we're glad you came, David. Thank you.
sounds good.
Well,
I'm glad I can help.
thank you. I'll let everybody get back to their regular jobs, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.